Because it doesn't like my microphone. Hey, I'm back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast. This is episode 302, and my name is Steven Dutzman. I'm your host. As always, hi, my friends.
Hi.
Good. I just
Hello.
needed somebody to respond so that I could see that the audio was
Sorry.
working. Thanks, everybody.
I'm sharing
I
on
wasn't-
the social medias. I'm trying to get that post up.
I did that.
Me too.
I mean, to be fair, I did that in the most awkward way possible, so I can't really blame you. So
I wasn't sure if you were talking to us or the audience.
No,
It's true.
No, you're right. That's fair. That's fair. I did it in the most awkward way possible, and I didn't prepare you, so I'm not mad. No one's getting fired today. No DKP minuses today.
Okay,
Um,
good.
But
We're safe.
we will throw out the
Woohoo.
50 DKP minus at some point. Maybe. I don't know.
Rude, honestly.
Rude, honestly. Rude IMO. Well, I've already introduced myself. And if you don't know who I am yet, then welcome. But anyway, thank you, Ready Player Mama, for the sub. And so I am joined by right now 3 of my very best friends in the whole wide world. Mr. John Tomlinson, the man behind the curtain, is in his car currently, and I told him I was not going to record a podcast with him in his car. That's not safe. It's only safe when I do it, because the EFG commute is coming back, because I have a job. So let's all have a round of applause for companies hiring me. Thank you.
Yay!
Yeah, all right, great. That only one actual round of applause. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that. So Tomlinson will be joining us very soon. Now he did this thing.
I did too.
Oh, you
Go
did?
back and watch it. I totally did it first.
You have to roll back
Told
the
them to
tape.
do it.
I don't
You can
do that.
tell-
I was
you
giving you
tell-
a good clap.
You can tell who currently is a teacher and who's a former teacher.
Yeah, all right. So
It ain't me.
well, we're just gonna run it back, folks, and I'll
You're the same
roll
one.
I'll confer with the tapes after the episode. We'll verify. So anyway, speaking of rolling back the tapes, let's take a look at everything. First, to my right is the managing editor of board games at EngageFamilyGaming.com. That is Linda Roble, the Mistress of Magnificence, otherwise known as Mom. Linda, how are you?
I'm doing great. Even better that I'm here.
I absolutely. My day gets better every time you guys get on here with me, so thank you very much for that. Next, below her on the squares is Jeff Walker from the Frozen North. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, and it's funny that you say from the frozen north because we had 80 to 85 degrees this weekend, and then it snowed on Monday. So
Of course it did.
Oh, yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, welcome to
welcome,
North America.
welcome to Michigan.
Yeah, welcome to North America. In the 2020s. And rounding out the square, my very best friend in the whole wide world, Amanda Farrow, the Princess of Power. How are you?
That's me. I'm good. It's podcast week, and even if the world is burning all around me sometimes, podcast week is the best.
Podcast week does make everything better. Yeah, Mega Mom in the chat saying went from 90 to 40 in a matter of days this week, which is, I'm sure, is great for everybody's plants. I'm sure that was wonderful for that. I don't know, actually. But
We'll see how mine survive. I have some cold weather crop in the greenhouse tonight, so we'll see.
All right, we'll see. It's a big test. So,
Should have left my Christmas decorations up. I took them down last week.
The 80 degrees made you want to take them down.
You know
It
what?
was finally nice out.
I put air conditioners in. That's what I did. And I
Ours
know,
was running for sure.
yeah, my whole Facebook feed was people who were like, "I'm holding out. I'm not putting in those air conditioners." And I was like, you know what? I don't like being hot. I'm putting them in. The good news is, by putting them in early, I know that one of them doesn't work, so we have to replace it. So that was good. Hey, listen, I was fortuitous. Now I have to replace it. Thank goodness. I've got a job because we gotta fix a car, an air conditioner, a microwave, and we gotta get a new washer and dryer. So guess who's really, really grateful?
Pain.
Lots
Lots of pain.
Yeah, exactly. When it rains, it pours. Don't worry. The laundry, the washer and dryer work. They're just a pain in the butt to use. So don't worry. We got clean clothes here. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
No one's
And we
smelly.
thank you for that.
I mean, frankly, even if we were, I wouldn't be able to tell because I was born without a sense of smell. However, yes, our
True.
stuff works. Our stuff does work. Don't please nobody call nobody.
I can verify they smelled great when they were at the house this weekend.
Okay, great.
Can verify.
Great. So,
It was a
on-
little weird because Linda was going around smelling everyone.
I mean, it's like I'm at school trying to do the, where's the odor coming
Sniff
from
check.
game. Yeah. Oh, there's been nose checks in my room before. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that Linda treated me like one of her first graders. Let's be very, very honest.
I mean, I'm mom.
So we do have a podcast to do. It's episode 302
We do.
of the Engaged Family Gaming Podcast, and this is a special episode because it is the episode after EFGCon, which is what we have lovingly named the things that we've done for a while now. We used to call them content pushes, then we called them sprints when I became an agile scrum master, and now we call them EFGCons because really that's kind of what they're turning into. They're just not open to the public yet. But who the heck knows what will happen as this website grows and gets more and more insane. How wild would it be if we had to here's the thing. I'm just not hiring Repop to run EFGCon because it doesn't go well. So was that rude? It wasn't rude. It was funny. It was funny. It was funny. I would hire
don't
She's
some.
quite
think
good
it
at
was-
running
it's-
packs. It's just maybe E3 wasn't
Well,
the right.
maybe it's just but this is a non-PAX thing, and it starts with an E. So like, I'm worried, and it's like 3 letters. Like I'm spooked. So when it comes time to plan actually EFGCon, I'll hire Amanda to do it. But she needs extra work to do.
Yeah, it's cool. I love my side hustles, bud.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, EFGCon this past weekend, Linda, we held it at your house. A whole bunch of people
did.
came.
Mhm.
Just what? First off, hey, what's up? The man behind the curtain is back. And
My man.
he is safe. My man. Anyway,
My man.
Tomlinson, how you doing? This is the part where we get you to unmute and say, "I'm doing great, Steve."
Sorry, just a little out of breath.
All right. It's cool. All right, well, you didn't have to run for us. We're gonna do this for a while.
True.
But we are glad that you are here. You may want to move your camera down a little bit. You look like Wilson from Home Improvement.
Oh, that's a throwback.
So listen, this is a deep cut. Amanda, do you know who Wilson is from Home Improvement?
Of course I do.
Okay, listen.
I watched all of Home Improvement, I think.
Man, that show was so good. It was better than it had any right to be.
It's true, but it didn't age well.
I mean, did anything really?
Not much.
X-Files did.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
did it?
The one thing.
Mm.
I was gonna
X-Files did.
say Tim Allen didn't age well. So.
No.
That's a whole conversation.
You know what? JTT aged fine. He just stopped being important. I mean,
That's the best way to go, though.
yeah.
Like, you stop being a legend, but you're also not a villain.
Yeah, he got
It's true.
he was cool enough to get loaded, be on a bunch of girls' posters, and now he's probably just living it up, doing philanthropy, hanging out.
You know what?
That's
We
great.
love to see it.
Exactly.
We love to see
You know
it.
what he's not doing? Crazy shenanigans. Because if he was, we'd have heard about it on a BuzzFeed article by now. So Tomlinson is back. Linda,
True.
for the audience, just explain what it is like preparing your house for all us crazy jerks to show up and just terrorize your dining room for a week.
So it's a twofold prep. So it's prepping the space. I have to make sure the dining room table is cleared because it gets commandeered. And then I've got another space that we lovingly have. It's like the game room, guest room, spare room. And there's a table in there. So that was cleared off and then proceeded to get covered with probably 2/3 of my game collection because our wonderful social media coordinator spent probably almost the whole time. We think it was like 6 to 8 hours at least, pulling games and taking original images, which was so cool. So it got me sorting through my collection at the end in the cleanup, but it's a big prep. And then I have to plan on feeding the crew, making sure that, I take the mom role and make sure we have meals and then people bring snacks. And it's just like the entire first floor of my house is commandeered. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's, you know what? We're approaching 10 years of Engaged Family Gaming.
Yeah.
And so it started as me sitting on a laptop on like a movable folding desk from IKEA that I would sit underneath my window in my dining room, writing a couple of blog posts a week. And eventually we did the podcast. Tomlinson's been part of that process since the beginning. Remember me recording in my basement when the furnace would go off? And
I remember
Oh,
trying
yes.
he spent
all day.
Tomlinson
I
spent
spent hours of my life.
I know that he spent like the better part of a week like trying different techniques, every filter he could. I'm sure now that we could spend like $800 on some kind of like machine learning crap to get rid of it, but like who's going to do that? And it was a whole deal, just a whole deal. And we so it started as that little thing. And now over the course of 10 years, now there are multiple contributors in multiple states. And we have a magazine and a podcast and a Dungeons and Dragons live play and all this stuff. And what I like about the EFG Con, like the content sprints, is the fact that from me, this site doesn't make money, right? Like we lose money. And to let everybody, full disclosure, this is not a profitable venture as of right now. And Tomlinson's like, what? But like, so we, so for the fact that so many people volunteer their
I'll delete
time,
the email that says why I deserve a raise then.
I mean, go ahead. You can have.
I mean, he
already
can double your salary.
I already gave you 100% raise, Jeff, and I gave you like 6 months or more of paternity leave. So
I think it was a year. But
it was a
we're
year. I
good.
gave you a year of paternity leave. That's like aggressive. That's like Sweden stuff. So anyway,
Like Netflix levels.
I mean, exactly. So, to have that many people come together and like work single-mindedly to like put out content for the site, make it better, and now to help produce this top-notch magazine, which will be coming out at the end of this week, by the way, if all goes well, is it really like I walk in kind of nervous because there's a lot to do, and also I'm always nervous. That's my secret, Captain. And I come out still nervous because, again, that's my secret, always nervous. But then I come out, and truthfully, my heart is full every Sunday because I drive home every Sunday after giving a little thank you pep talk to everybody, which Linda's gotten used to me, like, doing that. And, we all leave. And, that ride home, that 20-minute ride from Linda's house to mine is like a portal back into reality where I kind of come to grips with the fact that so many people came in and put their energy into my dream, my hope, my project, and it really is cool. And so thank you to the four of you for being a part of that. Thank you to the people watching for being a part of it. And man, let me tell you, the other thing I like about EFG Cons is because it puts all of us really ambitious and arguably dumb people in one room where we go, what if we did this? And what if we did that? And could we do this? And like the last EFG Con was when we came up with that's when we came up with the live play D&D game. And now we're getting ready for on Monday to record episode 4. I'm happy to report that our players did not die to a barrel of fish last week, so that was pretty
We tried.
Y'all
We
tried.
tried really hard.
It was definitely effort by some of the players.
Some of the players definitely tried to die in the hands of a barrel of fish, so they get to experience. They get to figure out why. I'm hoping they investigate the poor guardsmen that were stuck in the gas cloud.
Don't worry, your rogue's planning on it.
Okay, good.
Don't worry, the rogue's planning it.
Listen,
It's in the notes.
I took an opportunity to
Thank you.
drop a reminder.
You're helping your players. Yep.
Just helping you out.
I appreciate it.
And that was what we came up with last time, and it's wildly successful. Lots of people are watching it. It's doing great on YouTube, interestingly enough. And so yeah, we're just gonna keep going. So I'm not even gonna tell you the wacky stuff that me and Linda and Becky, our graphic designer, came up with at the very end. But let me tell you, like, it's very cool. It might even involve a Kickstarter. Like we've got some plans that could result in some very cool stuff. And this year isn't even done because it's not even the 10th anniversary. So let's get to finish the housekeeping. I'll do it really fast, everybody. So first off, thank you very much to everybody that's watching. Here's some things to take a look at. First, Amanda Farrow, the Princess of Power, is also an accomplished and talented author. Did everybody know that?
I didn't know that.
If you didn't know, she wrote a book. It's called Digital Playgrounds and Our Kids. Listen, Our Kids in Video Games. Listen, This book is short but powerful. It's like the Muggsy Bogues.
Me.
I
It's
mean,
short and powerful. I'm short and powerful.
I don't think you're that short.
I don't
Okay.
know. In my
Oh.
household, I'm short.
Okay, well that's
It's all
because
relative.
your husband Michael is a very, very tall man.
It's true.
He
He's
makes
6'1,000,000.
He makes
Oh
me
my.
feel short, and I'm a pretty tall dude. I'm not like NBA level tall, but like I'm a tall dude, and he makes me feel very tiny. But anyway, this book is one of those I recommend it to everybody that is interested in what we do, because it's basically like a perfect companion piece for a lot of the work that we do, which is why I promote it literally every week. It's not just because Amanda is my best friend. It's because
Though that does help.
the book. I mean, it helps. That's why I know about it, probably. But it's a good thing. Also, yo, did you know we made a magazine? We did that. This
Oh, was
week,
it
too.
us?
We did, in fact. Now, what? It says page not found. What? Did they change?
Oh,
the-
hold on. I've got it. They
Oh, they
changed
cha-
things on me, unfortunately.
What? Well, thank
ETC
you.
does that from time to time. I've
Thank you,
got
Guy.
you.
We'll put the new link in there in a minute. We'll put the new link in there. In the meantime, we have a new magazine. The new magazine episode, or the new magazine issue, which is coming out in at the end of this week. We're gonna ship it out Friday or Saturday. We just got to put some finishing touches on it. We added some new stuff, guys. We've got not only just our cover story and some of our other stuff, but we also added 4 pages of reviews.
There's a lot of writing.
So 2 full page ads, not ads, 2 full page reviews, and 2 pages that are that Jeff, reader of Game Informer magazine, will very likely recognize as some quick hits reviews of a bunch of other games that have come out over the last couple of months. Jeff, once you see it, Jeff, you're gonna be like, oh, all right, I see what you did there. So it is. So make sure that you have signed up for our mailing list, because on Friday or Saturday the new issue is coming out, and obviously we'll be passing that out every issue or every episode. Also, everyone needs to take a look at our D&D live play. If you have not watched it yet, if you're not all caught up, we're only 3 episodes in. They're only 2 hours each. They go real fast. This is not Critical Role. That's 4 hours a week. We're not going to go crazy like that.
Nope.
It's 2
We don't
hours.
have that kind of time.
And so far, we have interrupted a crab rave. We have snuck into a mausoleum. That didn't go well. And then we did battle with a barrel of fish. What's going to happen next? Who knows? But we're going to find out.
Can't wait.
Okay, so
Seriously.
now that the housekeeping is done, let's get to the news. The biggest news of the week is that, for us, is that last week, there's plenty of other news. But we're not going to talk about Redfall or, like Suicide Kings or any of that. Like Suicide Squad. Suicide Kings is a very different thing. Suicide Squad. We're not going to talk about those things. For us, they put out a new trailer for that Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom last week that was
It was
Mhm.
legit.
just...
I have a very,
Good
very
Lord.
excited child in my house about this that made me watch it.
So good. So
Of course.
So let's talk about it from your perspective. Linda, what did you think of the Tears of the Kingdom
Oh.
trailer?
My goodness. I mean, it's just so cool what they're doing, how they're taking it from the previous game and changing it and taking what's already there. And my son was saying words I didn't understand. He's like, oh, there's this thing. I had no idea. He was so excited, though. He kept noticing details and pointing them out to me, and he's saying words, and I don't know what they mean. But he was very excited by details that he was noticing. So I'm sorry I don't remember the details he said because I didn't
That's okay.
understand them.
That's okay. So, I mean, I think, are we all in agreement? This is clearly taking place sometime after Breath of the Wild, right? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
That's
It
Yeah.
definitely
that is
seems to
fact.
be.
Okay. Jeff, what about you? You saw this trailer, yes?
Yes, I saw the trailer, and if I wasn't excited about Tears of the Kingdom, and I was, I'm even more excited. And I think this is showing the naysayers that no, this is not just Breath of the Wild DLC. This is a its own game. For you diehard Legend of Zelda fans, people are noticing that one of the big giant monsters Link is fighting is an original boss from the original Legend of Zelda that has not been brought back since.
Oh.
Yeah. Like the 3-headed dragon thing that they showed,
Yeah.
Linda.
It's called, like, I was listening to a
Okay.
podcast earlier this weekend. I can't remember what it was called, but it has a name. Back then, we didn't know the name because we had nothing to tell us the name.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, now we do. It is. What about you, Tomlinson? You watched it. Can you give me your like quick reactions? How'd you feel about that trailer?
I same thing with the 20-minute like direct that we had. I'm ready for the game. I don't need to see more. I'm that person where if I see one trailer, then I'm in. There's very I'm in or I'm out. There's not much swaying me unless someone actually brings it up over and over again. So I've been in since the first word that this was being made. So I've been ready for this. I've been waiting 6 years for this. As soon as I was done with the 145 hours that I put in the first game, like, I've been waiting for the new stuff. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so
I mean, that is a perspective that I have heard a fair amount around the internet. A lot of folks are like, listen, I didn't need
it's
this.
somebody like the Brian O'Connell thing. It's like, give it to me now.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't need to see more. Just give it to me.
And I saw that on Twitter and places like that where there were a fair number of people that were like, listen, they could have just shown me a logo. Yeah, show me a logo 2 years ago, and I probably would have, paid full price for it. I think now, Amanda, you were not the biggest fan of Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and that has been a source of deep conflict between the two of us. But I just want to.
I know.
But here's what I want to do. I want to go on record as saying that I am not mad that you do not like Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
I've sure tried, buddy.
Because and you know why? It's because at least you're not ridiculous about it like some of the other people. You and I are.
Oh, no. Like, to each their own. It's totally fine. Like, I just didn't vibe with it. Maybe I'll vibe with Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm willing to give it a shot.
I mean, someone is going to buy it in your house, so it's not like it's going to be hard for you to get your hands on it.
Someone.
Well, I mean, there are multiple people in that home with the capacity to buy it, but we all know it's going to be footer. So, I mean, let's be honest. You're right. Someone.
Right.
So,
right.
So when you watched the trailer, was there anything in that? Like, was there anything that gave you a glimmer of hope?
I mean, I like some of the streamlined mechanics. I like a lot of the things that we talked about when we were first talking about Tears of the Kingdom. Those were really interesting to me. Like, the new features were really interesting. I feel like I would be missing out on a big chunk of story. So I'd probably need to go and at the very least watch a bunch of Let's Plays, and hopefully someone can catch me up to speed narratively, because it's me. I am a narrative designer. I am a writer. So one would think that I need to know the writings.
Someone.
But it looks cool. Like, it's not that Breath of the Wild was a bad game. I just didn't vibe with it. Maybe I'll vibe with Tears of the Kingdom based on some of these improvements and streamlining in the creative systems, which I think are really cool.
Yeah.
And there's going to be dungeons. I like dungeons a lot.
I mean, yeah, the fact that you can go so much farther up, and also because people were doing the math. Look, so there's coordinates on the map now, which, by the way, like, subtly the coolest change, because now we can say, hey, this thing at these coordinates, how cool is this thing? And we don't have to describe it. We don't have to describe it like we used to tell people how to describe, to friends how to get to our house back in the day. Oh, well, you go to this place and you take her. We don't have to do that anymore. Now I can just give you coordinates.
No. Game facts, when they used to use parentheses and whatnot to make maps out of, like, symbols.
None of that anymore.
Like,
Megamom, the woman who got all of the Koroks.
Yes, all the Koroks.
I mean, that's impressive.
Now, and she did it without a guide, because there's no. I mean, because there isn't a place that like can tell you exactly where to go. So she's a genius. And now when she's down to the last 20 of the collectible that I'm sure they're going to put a ton of in this game. Now she can. Oh, you used a map. All right. Well, you know what? Using a map and using coordinates is very different. Let's be honest with ourselves. And I'm still giving you full credit. I'm still giving you full credit. Full credit for me, and I'm what matters. So you get full credit. I'm the bearer of the achievements. I think the coordinates were huge, but they said they crunched the numbers, and you can go up super high. I think something like 1,400 or whatever, and then the
Oh, wow.
underground it was like 500. So that's a lot of verticality that they added to this game that really didn't have a huge amount to begin with. Like there were some big mountains, but like not reach the skybox kind of stuff. And so yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited to learn more about the little hero characters. I am absolutely convinced that little bird person is Ashley Johnson, because that sounded like her. And Matt Mercer as Ganondorf sounds great. Do we think Ganondorf is going to be the bad guy this time around? Because I don't think so. What do you think? Anybody fast predictions? Is Ganondorf going to be the end boss? No?
I have no predictions.
I have no idea.
I think he is too. Like I think it's gonna be him because it just makes sense. It's gonna be a back to basics kind of thing.
All right.
Because like Breath of the Wild was such a departure, so we're gonna meet somewhere in the middle now.
All right, that's a good idea. So that is Breath of the Wild. Not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I still want to know what all the tears are. I will say, if you have not watched that trailer, you're right, Ganondorf, not Ganon. I'm terrible with names. So if you have not watched that trailer, go look up the Tears of the Kingdom final release trailer on the Nintendo on the Nintendo YouTube channel. It is absolutely worth watching. The music alone is worth it, because they finally
Agreed.
played the real Legend of Zelda theme, and man, it hit me right in the feels on a level that I was not prepared for. Speaking of things that I was not prepared for, how about that for a segue? Amanda,
There you go. You nailed it.
can you explain to me could you explain to me what's going on with Sega buying Rovio? Because,
Do you want me to walk you through the logic?
listen, I am so confused because, I didn't know Rovio was still a thing. And I know Sega is still, now I know Sega is killing it. Sega is just quietly, they figured their stuff out and they're just killing it. Can you
They're getting there. They're
me-
definitely getting there. It was kind of dicey during the pandemic. And, one of the things to kind of set the stage for a very quick conversation about Japanese companies is they often have a number of different pillars that are outside of games, right? Or that are outside of digital entertainment. They also have amusement parks. They've got cabinets that they either license or they sell. And they have merchandise, and they've got their toys, and they've got books, and they've got other transmedia. It's complicated.
Mhm.
And a lot of these Japanese companies took a really big hit between 2020 and 2021 because the entire world was locked down. So big portions of their revenue streams were just completely toast. So Sega has had to climb out of a rather large pit in order to get back to the place that they've been in.
Yep.
But let's talk about Rovio for a quick
Yeah,
sec.
let's do that.
Rovio is kind of this sleeper hit, right? This sleeper hit of a company that everybody kind of just thought went away. And as it turns out, because Rovio is not just video games, but is transmedia, it's licensing, it's technology, it's a number of different things. It garnered a $776 million
Wow.
acquisition. It's huge.
Wow. That's quite huge.
It's really, really big. So it's important to understand that for a lot of video game companies that didn't take mobile seriously in the teens, so in the 2010s, they are now in a position where they have a decision to make: stay out of mobile or buy a mobile company. We're
Mhm.
seeing it with Microsoft and them purchasing King. We saw it with Take-Two and Zynga, which I still believe was vaguely overpriced, sitting at 11, what was it? 11, I would think it was 12.7 billion or something like that.
Oh
Or
my.
it was 11 or 12.7 billion dollars. Like it was a lot of money.
Mhm.
Like a lot of money.
During the pandemic, I was actually putting money into Candy Crush stuff. Like,
Yeah, honestly,
I
there's
don't
a
know
lot to
how.
say.
Yeah.
There's a lot to say about the power of mobile gaming, right?
Yeah.
It's a really important and approachable way to bring more players in,
Oh yeah, that's
right?
the one
Everybody's got
game
a
that
phone.
right. And I mean, I enjoy watching games. I don't play on console, but I do play mobile
Exactly.
games. Not a lot, but like that, I'm a big target audience. I'm not on the fringe of gaming, and they
Yeah,
bring us right in because it's accessible, it's approachable, low
exactly.
investment. Yes.
Exactly. It's lower lift, it's
Oh yeah.
approachable, it's accessible. You have your little gaming machine in your pocket,
Right.
right?
Your supercomputer that's
So,
in your pocket all the time.
exactly. Rovio's games have been downloaded over 5 billion times.
Wow.
5 billion times. They're one of the oldest and biggest mobile companies. Like they're sitting right there with Zynga, right? Like the difference between Rovio and Zynga is that Rovio has only a few different things going on with it with regards to licensing and what they have for original IP. Zynga, the reason why it was worth, and I still kind of argue that it's not quite worth $12.7 billion, but the reason why Take-Two paid it is because they have all of these forever franchises that are, making millions of dollars every year, right? So Sega purchasing Rovio is a really great fit, not just because of the entrance into the mobile marketplace that they have not been able to figure out. Many, many companies have not been able to figure out mobile. And when you're in a space where you don't know what the heck you're doing, it's either you build or you buy. And
Mhm.
buying is a shortcut.
Mhm.
Microsoft is doing that same shortcut with King, right? Because they haven't figured out mobile either. EA hadn't figured out mobile. They bought Glue Mobile. This has been a thing that's been going on now for the last 5-ish years. So Rovio is also prime for collaborations and licensing. They make a fair bit of money in the ways in which they license. So can you imagine Sonic and Angry Birds?
Yeah,
That they are together.
Oh.
it's not hard to
That's a
imagine.
moneymaker. That's a
Yeah.
moneymaker, folks. That's a moneymaker for kids. That's a moneymaker for folks that are feeling nostalgic and they just want something light and bright.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, this is a really, really good portfolio fit, and it solves a problem that Sega's been having. So I hope that kind of explains, why this was such an attractive buy and the reason why it went for, 3/4 of a
What
billion
about
dollars.
instead of Angry Birds, Angry Sonic?
Yeah,
Angry
And you
Sonic,
should
right? Angry
Sonic at
Knuckles.
things.
You
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
throw knuckles at things.
I mean,
Throw tails at things.
And instead of it could be like Robotnik, and you have to hit the appendages off to knock him over. The game creates itself.
It really, honestly, there's a lot to love here. There's a
Yeah,
lot to
yeah,
love here
I
in
love
terms
it.
of collaborations.
but honestly, just using Rovio's distribution platform and their mailing lists and their data, which I'm sure their data behind the scenes
The
is probably
data,
worth half the price.
exactly. And that's another good thing to keep in mind is that with a lot of these mobile companies, they're not just gaming companies. These are companies that are shrewd with advertising revenue. They understand ad buying on mobile. They understand data because they are completely and totally data driven. That's why mobile's so big. I mean, granted, it's taken a bit of a hit in the last 6 to 8 months, but even then, the hit is fairly minimal in comparison to the giant boom that happened as a result of
Yeah.
the pandemic.
But I mean, realistically, even just their engagement data, knowing what's good, what's not, knowing how people engage with different,
Yeah,
um,
measuring
frankly,
that is really important, and that technology is hot.
and just using that and applying it to a new Mean Bean machine might be $1 billion idea. Let's be pretty honest. So I went to the Rovio website just to give us a little bit of a taste. So there's obviously, we think of Rovio, and you can't think about that without thinking about Angry Birds, which is at this point like a generational property, right? Like this thing, came out when my kids were very, very young, and they had the movies which weren't like super exciting, or they had the movie which wasn't super exciting, but like
There was 2 of them.
there were 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 2.
Well, that's how exciting they were. I didn't even know there were 2 of them. However,
And 11 television series.
11.
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
I am
Transmedia
on,
is huge, folks.
I mean,
I
I
am
know
on
it's
Rovio
huge.
Entertainment's Wikipedia page.
Man,
11, and 3 of them are current to this date.
Oh my
Where are
goodness.
they? Where
Yeah,
do they
you'd
air?
be surprised.
I don't know because 2 of them don't have Wikipedia
Okay.
pages.
So, all right. So we've got a bunch of Angry Birds, but they also have like a generic action RPG, Darkfire Heroes, which actually kind of looks like goofy Diablo, which like I'm not mad about. And
They have
then
Love Rocks starring Shakira. That's one of their games.
well, these are the ones I'm looking directly on their page, the ones that are currently being.
Oh, I'm looking at their Wikipedia page.
So they have a murder mystery game, which I'm going to go download immediately after this because it looks like a find hidden object game. Which
Ooh.
hidden object games, and then they have Sugar Blast, which
If
I'm
it's
sure is just.
Garden, whatever it is, I don't want to know that. Like,
And then
did
they
you
have-
see the Pedro Pascal commercial for what's the one that they had Kathy Bates in a few years back? Gardenscapes or something like that. There was
Yeah.
like a murder mystery.
Oh, it was Merge
Pedro Pascal,
Mansion.
Merge Mansion. Pedro Pascal did the commercial.
Well, I mean,
feel you.
I mean, they got him before he's the biggest thing in the world, and then Sugar Blast,
That
which is
that's not Rovio though. That's a whole different company.
Yeah.
so. So anyway, that's Rovio, and they are set to be purchased by Sega. I expect that deal will go down with a little bit less drama than the Activision.
It's also a much, much smaller deal.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah. It's almost like, Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard is almost the funny number.
listen, just
In billions.
yeah, just
Billions.
because my prediction is easy doesn't make my prediction any less wrong. And
True.
I predict that this one's going to go through without nearly as much hubbub.
I agree.
Someone out there is going to write a think piece or a YouTube video about why they think it's a bad idea, and we can LOL at that. So that's
I don't know.
thank you.
Microsoft might throw a fit. They have Kazooie, who's a pretty angry bird. They're like,
Oh
Are we-
man. So
No.
Amanda, this is what we're gonna. I found out there is a company that makes hats that have like a screen on the front that you can program that'll have like words come across it. And what I think we need to do is
I've seen that on
that
games too.
hat
Yeah,
program
Yeah.
it so that it says business.
I'm on it.
And then you can then you can put
Amazing.
that on, and then just hit the button, and it'll say business. And so anytime you're doing business stuff, you can put that on. And
I'll put the
then-
business hat on when I come hang out on the podcast.
And then we'll
Perfect.
but then you can take it off when you're not doing the business hat, because we don't want you to
Oh,
have
it's
to do
true.
that all the time. This is just
Just a little business.
It's just a little
Just a
tiny
little
bit of
business.
But then
As
we
a
can
treat
get-
for everybody else.
But then we can get it. You can get it to say other stuff. So when you could get it to say like Odivira when you're playing your cleric. You know.
True.
It is, or we can, or
You
we could get it to
beauties.
say like whatever the stupid hashtag of the week is, like hashtag culinary magic, which hashtag culinary magic.
I mean,
could be-
that's true. We did do a fair amount of culinary magic in D&D, so I'm not mad about it.
Exactly. No, we're gonna keep it up. We got new mama in the chat confirming. So now let's switch gears a little bit. Speaking of transmedia properties, how about that for another segue?
So
Family
professional.
gaming is in the movies right now.
So
Like,
much.
First of all, who among us ever thought there was going to be another Super Mario Brothers movie after the first one? Did
Not
anyone?
me.
I
Not
did.
me.
I
That
did.
game can
I
rest
did.
in my nightmares.
I did.
Those
Alright.
tiny
Ah.
little heads. Can't handle it.
Yeah.
Thomason, what was wrong with you to think that they were going to make a Super Mario Brothers movie?
I knew that there wasn't going to be a sequel to that one.
Okay.
But I knew that immediately, like they needed to change gears with the predominance of Illumination and Pixar and all that, where like Frozen made billions of dollars. Of course, they're gonna get around to making video game movies. And like, if you look at Wreck It Ralph was the blueprint for this. Like, it doesn't have the same kind of heart that Wreck It Ralph or the story,
It's
but
true.
it didn't matter. When I listen to Continue and Susan Arndt talks about Dreamlight Valley, she knows it's like a capitalism, like it's straight up capitalism the whole time. But like, listen to me, it doesn't matter because it just pulls on all the nostalgia the whole time that you're just in that. You're in a nostalgia fog the whole time. And I enjoyed it. Like, I'm fine with that. I'll go see it again. Not, with adults, but I'll go see it again with kids or like watch it when it's on. It was perfect.
Well, I mean, that's the good segue into kind of going around the table and getting everybody's opinion on it. Amanda, you've seen the Super Mario Brothers movie, right?
I
Right, you
did. I took Vivian to see it.
Okay. And what do you think?
I thought that Chris Pratt was going to be terrible and like distractingly bad. He was only he kind of faded into the background, which was nice.
Exactly.
Like
Mhm.
I didn't I by no means was he a good voice actor at all. Like if you're gonna do Mario and Luigi in Brooklyn, you best come with a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
And there was no Brooklyn accent. So he just kind of faded into the background for me. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't great. He was just bleh.
Mhm.
But Jack Black was astounding.
Oh my
And if
gosh.
Peaches doesn't win a Grammy, I'm gonna riot.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Academy was an Academy Award that
That's
it could be up
fine.
for best song.
That's
Yeah, I don't
fine.
care.
Who cares?
He's
That man
still
needs
everything.
all the rewards.
Yeah.
He should be protected at all costs. I loved
Yeah.
him as Bowser. He was phenomenal. Anna Taylor-Joy, phenomenal as Peach.
Oh my God.
Loved
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Just perfect. So amazing. Honestly, it's the kind of movie where if you turn your brain off and you sink into it for the delightful nonsense that it is, it just feels good to watch. It really does.
Amanda, do I need to pull up the tape of when I told you this 6 months ago?
No, I
Where I'm
know.
like, I know.
I
You're
know, buddy. I know.
this. I'm just like, just forget who's behind the voice, and we're gonna tune out, and we're gonna enjoy
No,
this
you are
time with
right.
our kids. Like,
Mark the time. Mark the time
Yeah,
right here, right
Monday.
now. Take a screen cap. Tomlinson was right.
Jeff,
Steve was right.
I mean, I was, but I'm not going to victory dance just yet. I want to hear what everybody else has to say. Jeff, you went to go see it with your girls, right?
I went and saw it with Kyrie. We had
Oh,
a daddy-daughter date.
Okay,
Um,
great.
Kyrie is my 7-year-old. She loved it. I loved it. I think the one thing I liked about it the most was she was into the story. Yes, we've heard people complain there's not enough story. It's a Mario game. What more story do you need? Bowser steals the princess. He didn't even steal the princess in this one. But, so, she loved just seeing all the characters. Right now, she's playing Super Mario Odyssey. So it was really like in her face right there with that. She's playing Super Mario Odyssey for the first time. We went and saw the Mario movie, and then I'm sitting next to her, and I'm there going, look at that, look at this, look at that, look at that. Like, there's so many Easter eggs. I even watched a video, and so many Easter eggs I missed, or my favorite part of the whole movie was the music.
The music was
Yeah.
exceptional.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting here like, that's the Super Mario World theme. That's from New Super Mario Brothers. Like, and it's just all coming at me. I think Koji Kondo even put out a tweet or a statement saying how great it is to hear his songs on the big screen.
I bet.
Yeah, there's just so many. Like, there was one I didn't even realize. At the beginning of the movie, when they show the commercial, the voice for the girl that's supposed to be reading like the sign saying "I need help, Mario Brothers," that's the original voice of Princess Peach from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
How cool.
I just saw that the other day.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah. And like they didn't even just take it from the games. They took it from there's the big Mario Kart scene. They took the theme song from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show that I was watching when I was like 3 years old.
Why you got to do that to us? Why you got to do that to us? He always does this, where he's like, "Yo, this thing that happened a long time ago, and I was barely conscious."
I was sitting in the living room with my bowl of cereal on my duct tape X, because that's where my parents told me I had to sit because I was not allowed to sit any closer to the TV.
All right, Linda,
watching the Super Mario Brothers Super Show and that song.
I mean, listen, man, Linda. So thank you, Jeff, for that. Linda, so you were never a big Mario girl.
No. Can't say that I was. I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, that's okay. Listen, we've already talked about this. If I can forgive Amanda for not liking Breath of the Wild, which I did on air, and there were people in the chat to see it. If I can forgive Amanda on air, I can forgive you for not liking Super Mario Brothers because you just weren't exposed to it. But,
oh no, I was outright not allowed to have a console when I was a child.
Yeah,
My parents were mean.
They're just your parents. No
they're very
fun.
old school.
They're the and that's okay.
It's fine. Everything's fine. I survived.
What did you think of this movie?
Well, we did not go see it in theaters. I have to say, we have not actually gone to see it yet.
Okay.
No.
That's right. You saw Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. We're gonna get to you.
So I do have I just have a quick thing from school though.
Go ahead.
I had a student come in today in honor of seeing the movie with a Luigi hat from Halloween. And the only reason it was Luigi and not Mario is they couldn't find Mario. So that was so cute. He comes walking in his little hat on.
All right. Okay. Well,
so you know that's my little connection.
Let's treat that as a great segue. I want to see. Well, you'll have to report back when you do see it, which will happen.
Yes.
So let's move to the next one because the Dungeons and Dragons movie is also in theaters.
It is.
And I'm gonna say this. I didn't really share my thoughts on Mario, but trust me when I say. Well, actually, I think I wrote the Mario review in the magazine.
You did.
So
you did.
If you want to hear my thoughts, if you want my thoughts, you have to read them in the magazine because I wrote my thoughts. I thought it was perfect, everything I ever wanted. Anna Taylor-Joy sounded like Peach sounds in my head and has sounded in my head forever. And Jack Black, once again, a national treasure. Quietly, the Wizard Koopa,
Magic
hilarious.
Kamek.
And whoever did the voice for the Luma that was in the dungeon, was the voice of the millennial generation. So thank you very much.
That's so true.
Finally,
the Luma freaked my daughter out so much. She was like, that Luma, that little star is so depressing. I'm like, that little Luma is millennial ennui incarnate.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
you also have to understand that in Super Mario Galaxy, the Lumas want to die so they can become planets.
Oh, I know. Listen, it makes sense, but man,
it fits perfectly.
It was dark. It was dark. If you really want to see it take it to another level, make sure you watch Saturday Night Live. Funky Kong was on during the Weekend Update Limit segment, and good Lord, it was really good. It was really good. There were some deleted scenes that they did the voice acting of. Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons is in the theaters.
Yes.
Dungeons and Dragons, another movie that after it flopped many years ago, I never thought would happen again. And I want to say this. That movie was so good. It made me want to play Dungeons and Dragons. It made me want to go LARPing. It made me want to hang out with Chris Pine.
Mm-hmm.
And because he didn't do
enormous
anything.
mood.
And he also, I want to see Hugh Grant do that role, and I'm not going to spoil a lot. I want to see Hugh Grant do that role more often, because when I think Hugh Grant, I think cheesy 90s and early aughts rom-coms, and I want him to be like the roguish. Well, I mean, he was a rogue. I want him again.
His job title was con man. From the beginning, he was a con man. So, no spoilers there, but, he did his job.
I
Like
want him to do it.
the
I
whole
want him to
movie.
do that. This movie was everything that I could possibly hope that it be. Anyone that plays, I don't know why everybody's in my house is deciding to have conversations now while I'm giving my review of Dungeons and Dragons. But oh, my daughter put on a mushroom hat. That's why. You want
Oh.
to come put the mushroom hat on camera? Or are you going to do that at least? She made a mushroom hat. Look, tilt your head.
Woohoo!
You're
Very
like
cute.
5 minutes too late, Maggie, because we were just talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Wait, do you want to share your review of the Mario Brothers movie? Do you want to say what you thought?
It was a good movie, but I didn't like their eyes.
She didn't like their eyes. Anyway, so there we go. Maggie, that was a Maggie appearance. She made a mushroom hat for herself. Dungeons and Dragons. They stole my bit. If you LARP with me, you know what bit they stole.
I was laughing about that bit the entire movie, having known your LARP bit for
for as
20
long
years.
as it's in. You were there. You were there.
I was there when it originated.
You were there when the
when
deep magic was written.
Oh,
the
boy.
potato thing. The potato thing is my bit. And now everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, you stole that from the Dungeons and Dragons movie," and I'm gonna be like, "No, you punks."
You
Anyway,
had it first.
man, I can't wait for them to do more. I hope they do more.
After that. Well,
Man.
the biggest thing we were saying is we didn't think it was just a good Dungeons and Dragons movie. It was just a good movie. You don't need to know the language. You don't need to know the inside jokes. I mean, it adds to it like anything else, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
And that was like kind of the biggest thing we said as we were leaving the theater. Like that was just a good movie.
Yeah, it was great.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
In
big
the
deal.
in the pre-show, I was talking about that. I have only played straight up D&D maybe 10 times. So like seeing this, like I knew little things from the video games that are D&D themed and stuff here and there, but like me and Emily had a blast. Like, and I was there with my boss, and like I'm pointing out things, I'm seeing things. It's just a fun movie with a great cast.
Yep.
My only turn off was, I don't know if you guys had it, was the pre-roll where the cast address the crowd and goes like, "You guys are the real heroes for going to the theater." It was like that was weird. That was weird. Like,
That
send
was
me my
please,
movie.
that was please go to the movies. We need more butts in
Yeah,
movies.
yeah,
That
we
was
need
what
more
that
money.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to
That
say
was
it.
what that was.
I saw that and I was like, guys, I hate to say it, but like the movies have proven that they're back. I mean,
Yeah.
Top Gun I was like, after Top Gun Maverick and Avatar 2, and now Super Mario Brothers, like, guys, like, you don't need to beg us to come back to the theater. We're gonna do it.
And
We're
that's
just gonna do it.
that's the
not
weird
crazy.
thing. Like the press is just like, people need to go back to the movies. Nobody's going back, and then they're just like, the press is just like, Mario movies just garbage. Like, it's got like 92 to 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's good.
But we figured that out last week. We went and
Yeah,
looked.
yeah.
We looked.
Yeah.
The people who were, and I think that this is actually, I've seen some analysis on this, and I don't have real data, but Mario was for two audiences. It was for old folk like us who remember the games and really like the Easter eggs, and children who are like in for that kind of short, rapid fire animated adventure. If you're like in your mid 20s, like working at a newspaper or whatever, and aren't connected to Mario and are too old for kid crap, that movie was not for you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people went in and, reviewed it from that lens. And the reality is, like, it was not for them, unfortunately. And, whatever, man. They had a job to do, and they did it. And I don't begrudge them, because this is one of those situations where it's like, it doesn't matter what they said about it, because it's going to make $1 billion, if not more.
Yeah.
It's going to beat Frozen 2 without really any problem. Frozen 2's at like 1.2 billion, and we're at like 7 million, or 700 million, and it's only been out for 2 weeks, and it doesn't have any competition until Guardians on Cinco de Mayo, so I think we'll be all right.
That
Anyway,
is a kids movie to go see right now.
yeah, it's and the first one in a while that hasn't been just kind of meh.
Right.
All respect to Paw Patrol, but that movie's like 3 years too late. So I know we had a whole bunch of games to talk about, but believe it or not,
Mhm.
guys, it's 9:00. We did it.
Wow,
We
that
made
went
it through.
fast.
So here's what we're gonna do. This is the plan. Everybody who is watching, thank you very much for listening to us chat about the news and some business and the movies. Turns out to be a bigger news week than I thought. Oh, we got to do a check-in. We'll do that, Tomlinson. That is one more side of the cube.
Yeah, all I really have is like this so far.
Whoa.
I don't touch it in between, so like this is going to sit for
Alright.
2 weeks until the next.
And
I
then
finished the bag I'm on, so there's not spare parts.
All right. Well,
That's
that's good.
why
Yeah,
you're
that's a
asking.
good idea. Yeah, we don't want to leave the spare
Yeah.
parts. Those will get knocked down. Linda, show us the blanket. It's getting big.
It's getting bigger.
Wow.
So
That's nice.
I'm on the 4th ball of yarn.
Um,
It's for those of you that are yarn crafters,
Good.
it is 4-ply, so it's a little bit heavier weight.
all right.
So
Ooh.
for those that know yarn.
Okay, I dig it. Okay. So everybody, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you guys for being here. We had a very active chat today, including New Mama and Season of the Sea Witch back. And Mega Mom,
And Kahi
as
Keys.
always. And Kahi Keys, who I'm sure I will speak to probably in the next 15, 20 minutes when she texts me to play something in World of Warcraft. So, John, Linda, Amanda, and Jeff, you guys, thank you very much for being here with me. We will be back on Monday with episode 4 of Coils of Destiny. The
Which I will be
Aftermath.
unable to join because I'm going to be on a work trip.
It's all right. It's okay.
But Vera will be waving from the kitchen as she does culinary magic.
Somebody's got to carry a
Woohoo.
barrel of fish somewhere. So,
Oh boy. We'll try
just
not
make-
to die.
We'll just make her do it.
That's fine. Yeah, make me do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You carry the barrel of fish. All right, everybody. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful week. And until then, don't forget to get your family game on. We'll see y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.